Yo, it's Brian here. Today, gonna be talking about the San Francisco 49ers. As always, gonna be doing my edge-to-edge videos for the game against the Panthers happening this Sunday at Levi Stadium. Should probably be the most tough one that I had to do all season long. Some of the ones were very easy, like last week against the Redskins. Now I have to go to a very good team in the Carolina Panthers. I think they have a very good spot right now for the NFC rankings and what have you. Kyle Allen, he's been playing really well, hasn't turned the ball over. That's fantastic. I think he's the first quarterback in NFL history to start 5 games and not turn the ball over, so that's a very good thing. Kind of contrast to Jimmy. Jimmy can turn the ball over sometimes, but it is what it is. So going to be talking about that. If you don't know already about this series, this is where I compare quarterback to quarterback, defensive line versus defensive line, all those positions together, and seeing which one would I pick for the edge in terms of talent and what I think is going to happen for this Sunday. So, yep, there you have it right there. Should be a fun one. Remember, people, these are just my opinions. If you think I'm crazy, you think I'm biased, then what? Well, it is what it is. The 49ers, they've been proving me right for the most part every single week. You guys can say whatever you want. Anyways, going to get the video started, but before I do, please like and subscribe. That's going to help out a lot. Share this content with fellow Niner faithfuls. Panther fans, I am from Charlotte, North Carolina. I live in North Carolina right now. If you want to subscribe to my channel, that would be much helpful. I should know this team mostly out of any other team in the NFL besides the 49ers because I watch them pretty extensively because that's what's on the games for me on Sundays. Let's get into it right now. 49ers versus Panthers. Who has the edge in each position? Okay, first up, Jimmy Garoppolo versus Kyle Allen for the quarterback position. Who am I going to go with for this edge? It's kind of difficult, kind of double-edged sword. You look at Jimmy Garoppolo, very talented. I think he's more talented than Allen, in my opinion, but he does turn the ball over sometimes, and that can be very bad for the 49ers, although the defense has been bailing him out a pretty good job this whole season, but still, getting turnovers, not a good idea. Kyle Allen, he's on a winning streak like Garoppolo, but he hasn't turned the ball over too many times. He has no interceptions as a starter. I think he's the first quarterback, as I mentioned before. 5 games, no turnovers from interceptions, although he fumbled the ball a couple of times. That is an issue for the Panthers, but, not throwing any interceptions, that's a very good thing for the Panthers and company. So, if I had to give an edge, in terms of talent, I would give it to Garoppolo, but in terms of this, not really matchup, but just as in general, I have to give it to Kyle Allen slightly just because, the turnovers, they're not there, and that's a really good thing for the Panthers. If it comes down to the wire, the first team makes the mistake, and if Jimmy makes the first mistake, then it's going to be over because the Panthers are a pretty good team, in my opinion, and you don't want to make any mistakes, definitely. So, slight edge to Kyle Allen, although Jimmy, he has more talent, in my opinion. Next up, running back position, running back by committee by the 49ers, Matt Breida, Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, and Tevin Coleman versus Christian McCaffrey. Who am I going to go with for the edge? If you're talking about just the best running back out of this whole bunch, you have to go with Christian McCaffrey, hands down. But if you're talking about just the game and the flow of the game for this matchup, I have to give it to the 49ers because they've been really, really good in terms of running the ball successfully. They had struggled just a little bit against the Rams and Redskins, but they would throw the ball, pound the ball at you, and they've been really successful at that. You look at the game against the Redskins, they were just pounding the ball in the last 4 minutes of the game, and they were able to run away with the win 9-0 against the Redskins. So, more talent, Christian McCaffrey definitely, but if you're talking about a running back system and who's going to be more successful, in my opinion, I have to give it to the 49ers running back, in my opinion. Wide receiving core, who to go with for this one? Deebo Samuel was out against the Washington Redskins last week. He should be able to play. I'm not sure yet, but, for the 49ers receivers, they're not too bad. They're decent. They're not number 1 receiver status. I don't know if you guys are a fan of that, but anyways, the 49ers, they get the job done. They're not anything flashy or anything like that except Marquise Goodwin, but other than that, they are good enough to win games enough, I guess you want to call it. The Panthers, they have really good talent, in my opinion. In terms of the wide receiver position, they got DJ Moore. I think he's been really good. Curtis Samuel. So if I had to give it edge, I would definitely give it to the Panthers in terms of the wide receiving core because they're actually reliable receivers. They're not, a bunch of bums or anything like that. So if you're a 49er fan, I would definitely recommend watching some of their wide receivers because they've been really, really good, in my opinion, and they've been helping Kyle Allen in terms of his growth as a starter for the Panthers. So edge, Panthers wide receivers. Next up, tight ends, Greg Olsen versus George Kittle. Who am I going to go with for the edge? If this was a couple years ago, Greg Olsen, I might give him the edge over Kittle, but so far, Kittle, he's just a freaking beast. I have to give the edge to George Kittle. He's everything for this offense, and he's a mismatch for pretty much anyone. So edge, going to give it to George Kittle. Last up on the offensive side of the ball, who to go with for this one? Our offensive line versus their offensive line. Who to go with? I don't know. If you're talking about matchups for their against the respective defensive lines, our O-line versus their D-line, and their O-line versus our D-line, I might have to give it to the 49ers just a slight bit. I know they've been struggling a little bit. They were kind of okay against the Redskins and Rams and what have you. Actually, not too bad against the Rams, considering they had Aaron Donald. Justin School had his day, I guess you want to call it, against Donald, although he gave up a sack or two, but that was really early on in the game, but he held him in check for the most part. So the 49ers, I mean, although with 2 backup tackles, they've been pretty much in sync, and the running game has been pretty decent in their absence, so I'm going to give the slight edge to the 49ers offensive line, although the Panthers offensive line, they've been pretty good in protecting Allen for the most part. Next up, defense. Okay, time to talk about the defensive side of the ball. Let's go with defensive line, 49ers versus Panthers. Who am I going to go with for this one? The Panthers D-line, they're actually pretty good. You got Gerald McCoy coming from the Tampa Bay Bucks. He's been a pretty good difference. Dontari Poe, Vernon Butler, he's kind of okay. I think he's been disappointing a little bit, but, kind of okay. Mario Addison, Brian Burns. Brian Burns is a pretty good player, in my opinion. He's a really great rookie. He was one of the guys that I wanted if they weren't going to get the number 2 overall pick. If they wanted to trade down to like the middle of the first round, I would have wanted Brian Burns in the first round. So that's just me right there. But their D-line is pretty good as well. But the 49ers, I mean, nobody can stop them. Essentially, you got Nick Bosa, D. Ford, Julian Taylor, DeForest Buckner, Solomon Thomas, Eric Armstead. Those guys, they can get to the quarterback real quickly. And the good thing about them is they don't need to do a lot of blitzes. They'll do that sometimes. They'll have some packages for that. But for the most part, they'll just rush for it and they'll collapse the pocket real quickly. So if I had to give it edge, I would definitely give the edge to the 49ers defensive line. And as every week, that would be the big difference, in my opinion, for this game against the Panthers. Can their O-line handle our D-line? Bosa, as I mentioned, he's just, oh man, special. That's all I can say, pretty much. I don't know what else to say, but edge, I have to give it to the 49ers defensive line, although the Panthers defensive line, they're no joke either. More interesting part, the linebacking core, I mean, the 49ers, we all know Quan Alexander and Dre Greenlaw, Fred Warner, those guys, they do a fantastic job for us, especially Quan, giving us all that energy on defense, not just for his group, but for the D-line and the secondary as well. Able to run the ball around, able to go crazy and what have you in a good way. Looking at it from this year to last year, people are just moving around more faster, more better this year, in my opinion. I got to give credit to Quan for giving that energy boost for everyone on that defensive side of the ball. So definitely 49ers linebacking core, they're really good. The Panthers, they have a very good linebacking core as well. You got Shaq Thompson, Luke Kuechly, Bruce Irvin, who just came from, I forgot where, Atlanta. It's been a while. He did play for the Seahawks a while back, but that was years ago with Jim Harbaugh. So, if I had to give it edge, I would actually give it to the Panthers. I mean, Luke Kuechly, he is just awesome. I mean, I don't know what else to say about him. Luke is one of the best middle linebackers in the NFL, although Fred, hopefully he gets there really, really soon, but Luke, he's established himself as that, and he hasn't slowed down anytime soon. So if I had to give an edge, I would definitely give the edge to the Panthers linebacking core with Luke Kuechly, Shaq Thompson, and Bruce Irvin, because they're really, really good. I know I say that quite a bit. Last up, cornerback position, 49ers versus Panthers defensive backs. Who to go with? Actually, both teams, they're really good at taking the ball away in terms of interceptions. I mean, our guy, Kwan Williams, cornerback, nickelback guy, he's been getting a couple of interceptions. Richard Sherman had an interception or 2. I think he has one against Jameson Baker Mayfield. Our cornerback / safety spots, they're really good. Jimmy Ward, Jaquaski Tart, they've been showing up, especially Ward. Ward has surprised me big time. He's healthy. He has a really good defense around him, so that's making him flourish really well. And this is the first year that I've seen a big step up for him, so got to give him credit for that. Emmanuel Mosley, as I mentioned, number 41, he's been doing really well for the 49ers. I mean, to be able to take over for Witherspoon and still have the good productivity of Witherspoon with a different player, I think that's freaking amazing as well. The Panthers, they got some great players as well on the safety side. You got to talk about guys like Dante Jackson, James Bradbury. Jackson, he's a really good up-and-coming cornerback. Eric Reed, he's really good as well. I mean, do y'all remember him in San Francisco when we drafted him in the first round? He was not too bad in San Francisco. And you also had Trey Boston. So they could be a physical cornerback crew, but man, this is a tough one, actually. This is probably the most toughest matchup to go with for in terms of the edge-to-edge videos for this. But if I had to give it an edge, I'd probably give it to the 49ers just a slight bit. I got to go with Uncle Sherm. Uncle Sherm is just an awesome guy, not just as a great player, but as a mentor as well. And you look at the 49ers tape, they've been flourishing really well under him. And next man up mentality, I think that's a big thing for the defensive back crew. So going to give the edge to the 49ers cornerback crew / safeties just a slight bit. So, yep, there you have it right there. Lastly, special teams. Joey Sly versus Robbie Gould. Oh, this is actually kind of tough. I mean, if Robbie was a little bit more consistent, I would actually go with Robbie Gould as the edge man. But in terms of just statistics and what have you, I'm going to pull it up right here, right now for Joey Sly. I think he's doing all right as well. So if I had to give an edge, I don't know. Oh, man, pretty tough one. But I probably might give a slight edge to special teams in terms of Joey Sly over Gold. If Gold was more consistent, I would be much more confident, but I'm not really confident with Gold. I mean, you saw the game against the Redskins. I know it was raining. I know it was muddy, but oh man, it was not pretty, to be honest with you. So I might give a slight edge to special teams to the Panthers, although the 49ers, they have a very good special teams. You look at the Gunners like Raheem Mostert and company, they can just get to you real quickly in terms of that. So slight edge, Panthers special teams. All right, last up, coaching, kind of an optional bonus thing. Ron Rivera versus Kyle Shanahan. I have to give it to Kyle Shanahan, actually, because Rivera, he took his team to the Super Bowl and what have you a couple years ago. But talking about right now in 2019, Shanahan, he has really done a fantastic job with whatever he has on offense and defense. And Robert Saleh, man, he has all the players that he needs, and he's just getting up and down, excited for every single game, and I don't blame him at all because his defense is definitely showing up for him. I remember, including myself, we were putting him in the hot seat, definitely, and rightfully so, because, his defenses have been kind of disappointing for the past couple of years, but now he has his guys like Bosa and Ford. His defense can really, really flourish, definitely. So I have to give the slight edge to Shanahan and Salah. They've been doing fantastic, although Ron Rivera, he's a really good coach, and I, met him personally, actually. But anyways, going with the edge, Kyle Shanahan and company. All right, that's it, guys. Pretty even matchup, in my opinion. This is the first time that I haven't gone one-sided 49ers or one-sided another team. Well, actually, this whole season, I never went one-sided another team. I always went mostly one-sided San Francisco, like last week against the Redskins. But actually, they pair up really well for this match, and hopefully this is going to be an awesome match. I think this is more of a defensive struggle, in my opinion. Every time they play together from the past couple of years, it's always a defensive struggle, so I expect it to be a defensive struggle for both teams and what have you. But yeah, I'm excited for this matchup and hope you guys stay tuned for tomorrow for prediction time. So yep, that's it, guys. Please let me know which edge would you give to each team. I'd like to hear what you got to say in the comments below. If you guys like this, please like and subscribe. That's going to help out a lot. I'll be catching you guys up tomorrow for Prediction Tuesday. I'll see y'all then. Bye, guys. Love y'all. Y'all have a great rest of your night. Go Niners all day.